Hello, welcome, Randy Steffes Show. Thank you for watching. And today's contestant is my cameraman, Johnny Arkansas's J-45. So, step one, thank Johnny Arkansas. And he wants new strings put on it, but when he got here with it today, there were some other problems going on.
What happened? How could something like that happen?
What happened, John?
I don't know.
What happened here?
Knows.
Do you know what happened here?
I don't know. I don't know. This looks like a big ass crack.
It's a crack, yeah.
It wasn't there 3 days ago.
As you say. Some of these, like that's cracked right where this low E string peg is, and these are drilled in pretty hard, John. Like that one is all the way to the ball. Like how you even get that out of there is going to be fun. Right? We don't have much here to clean it with either. We don't have much here for tools or nothing.
I think that's the least of our worries.
Well, there's this other issue happening here too.
Oh, well, explain that, Randy. Why does that happen every single year on a Gibson cutaway?
I don't know why it keeps happening. I know it's been to the shop one time, a good shop in town, and it was playing good for a year or so, and it's right back to that. I guess it's just weather and where we live here in good old New York City in springtime, and I don't know what's going on. Fridge looks bone dry to me. Also, it looks like it's pushing forward a little, and like it's shrunk so much.
Do that again, Randy. I don't see what you're talking about.
Like it's bubbled up here just a little bit and kind of pushed in there. So it's like pushed in there, like the whole bridge is tilting forward, and it's pulling up there and pushing down there. There's almost sort of like a divot in the top, in the center. I don't know how easy that is to see.
Maybe just poor construction.
And then the saddle itself, there's like, you know, it's gapping there.
Hold on.
Like there's a gap there, and the saddle itself is also pushing
forward. Show that again.
Can you see the gap?
I'm trying to see.
Like it looks like it's loose in there, almost like I could move it. Like how much space is right there? You can kind of see it. And then like the saddle's in that slot is pushed forward, which means it's kind of fretting a little sharp. Like the string got shortened a bit, so it's not intonated very well at the moment. Start losing it. This just seems like they're all a little high. Wow, that one. Buzzy, buzzy, buzzy. So what are we going to do about this, John? What do you think?
I think change the strings and see what happens, you know.
I don't even know if I can.
That's my solution, but it's not my video.
Changing the strings isn't going to help.
I just change the strings and then
we're going to have to glue that. Even before I change the strings, there's maybe another issue with this guitar.
You hear it moving around, this stuff moving around in there, Randy. Jesus.
You hear that moving around?
I hear
There's
it.
Like some
I hear it.
cracks as the string tension changes. There's this other issue here where you can check if your nut might be too low or too high. But I put my finger on the
Let me get close.
3rd fret, and ideally there should be a little bit of a gap, and you should be able to press down and feel a gap. But when I put my finger on the 3rd fret of this guitar and then like look for there to be a little space to that 1st fret F note, there's none, which tells me this is very low cut. Maybe like this was cut for thicker strings and these are skinnier strings. Maybe some thicker strings help pull this thing into line. Maybe like loosening the truss rod a bit and that'll go away, but it is really this one spot that keeps creeping up. Almost looks to me like this 13th fret is just high right there, and it's almost just the high E string. Yeah, maybe that string's doing it a little.
You're afraid to change the strings.
I'm afraid to change the strings.
Because you think if you do, the whole guitar will break?
It's going to creep around.
It's going to break, right? As soon as you take the strings out, the whole guitar is going to collapse. How do you feel about Gibsons in general?
When you can't say something nice, I think Slash plays them great.
The guy from Tin Lizzy, he's also very good.
Yeah, lots of really great people play them.
Gary,
Yeah.
he plays the shit out of a Gibson. Does he have to? Okay, that's a good question. Does Slash and Gary Moore also have to always like get certain pastes to keep their guitars together at all times? Is that just like they say, like?
Is that just like they say?
Well, like you say.
How do I say?
You say you hate the brand.
I never said I hate Gibson.
Yeah. Really?
No.
You never said that?
No, I never said that.
Oh.
I might have referred to this guitar a couple of times as a piece of shit.
Right.
Are you sure you're the one that last changed strings on this? They all got a nice little kind of hook tie. Did you do that?
I did it.
You know how to do that hook tie?
Yeah, man.
That's what I did on the first video.
I get down, buddy.
Yeah. One of the reasons I don't like it is sometimes it can be a little funky to get it off.
You don't even know me, Randy. I told you I baby that guitar, and it
This
just
is the one you baby, and it just sits
and
in
it
the
breaks
case
in the
and
case.
cracks.
It breaks in the case.
It breaks in the case.
For those of you out there, sometimes, no matter what you do, your guitar is just gonna break
It's just gonna break in the case
for no reason.
for no good reason.
So you go to Randy and he repairs it.
You repair it.
Hold on, let me get a close-up. He's blaming me for this crack, ladies and gentlemen, because I put the peg in too hard.
Yeah, they do seem to want to sit in there really deep. That's kind of weird. Maybe you need some newer pegs.
No way. Never. That's a conspiracy theory. No one has ever cracked their guitar in half by putting
Jamming a peg.
by
so hard in
jamming
that
it.
hole.
That's a myth, ladies and gentlemen.
See, like, check this out.
Oh, hold on.
It's like actually just wiggling in there. This is not good. It's kind of wiggling forward, and that's making the intonation a little weird.
Well, what would make something like that happen, Randy?
It needs some movement because it's one of these kind of pickups where this has got to move like a piston for the pickup that's underneath it to work.
I'm gonna need.
But
you
it just
to...
seems like it's too loose to me.
And what is that called? What did you
The
just
saddle?
do? That's called a saddle.
This is the saddle.
And you take it out.
I just can take it out. I can take it out really easily.
Is it supposed to just come out like that?
It's
Or is
supposed
this
to
really
have
just
enough.
a bad guitar?
It's supposed to have enough so that it can move, because if you look in the bottom of there, that might be hard to see too, but that's a pickup. Like, that's what's picking up signal and sending it to the little battery-powered amplifier and out the butt cap. But the problem is it's like, it shouldn't be wiggling, this way.
Oh.
We want it to be a piston, like moving up and down with the sound vibrations of the top. But when it's like sliding out of place, basically, at this point. And that's shortening the string length, basically, which is making things fret a little sharp, because the string's not long enough. We could jam something in there. Kind of try and shim it with something.
Yeah, sure.
I
would.
I don't have anything handy for that.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to fix this top, so whoever ends up doing that probably should do something about that. And they're going to have to fix this too. So that's a lot of fixing that's like beyond the scope of my professional skills.
kind of strings are you using, buddy?
We got Martins.
This?
They're 12 to 54 Martins.
What? Say that again.
Martin 12 to 54.
This episode brought to you
By the Martin strings you
by
bought.
the good people of Martin and Gibson. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're not using Gibson strings. That's why my guitar is all getting broke up.
Maybe that's the problem.
When you put the Martin strings on a Gibson,
You think that's
it
what
makes your guitar
makes
just
the
break
top
to
crack?
pieces.
Makes the top just freaking crack.
Well, I mean, it takes us back to episode 2 where, you know, drummers just maybe they should just stick to drums and not play guitar. How do you feel about that, Randy?
I like your guitar playing.
Yeah.
And like you're a good singer, songwriter guy. And
But your
so-
guitar is
This
constantly
is a working guitar, right?
it's an expensive, you know, proposition to play guitar as a drummer. All your guitars are constantly broken.
Just wants to sink all the way in there.
Oh, hold on. I need to see this too. This is the proper way to put in pegs. The non-drummer method.
I think you put them in fine. Actually, I accused you falsely because like they just want to go that deep down, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. I think maybe you want some nice new ivory custom pegs. You know,
Oh, what is that, Randy?
some expensive hot rodding of acoustic guitar.
How much does that cost?
I don't know.
What's the cost for ivory pegs?
For ivory pegs? I don't know, but you can look it up. People do it. Put ivory and bone all over this thing.
Nah, we're fine. It's just gonna break anyway again.
Maybe we need a new bone nut, and then it'll sound better. And
It sounds
and
fine.
it'll maybe play a little higher. You need a little higher action than your nut's giving us.
Well, explain a little bit about the Gibson sound.
It sounds like a cracked top guitar at the moment.
Horrible.
Sounds like a Hofner.
I like the Hofners.
You like the Hofners? All right, we're gonna do this dead simple.
All right, hold on. Let me get close so we can see what you're doing.
I'm gonna do this like just pull it to tuning peg-ish is bad. I ain't gonna do any fancy ties.
Look how he treats the Gibsons, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm also not using a peg winder. I'm
you
just
can
gonna
see-
take my time here and
You can see his
I'm just gonna take my time here and do this.
You can see
all
his
by
disdain.
hand. I'm gonna do it all by hand. Let's take a while. Maybe I even pulled off too much there. I'm gonna have too much wrap, maybe.
Yep.
I think I might have screwed up a little.
What?
Yeah, I might have screwed up a little.
I don't think so. Do you think
Yeah,
you made a
no,
mistake?
I think I made a mistake. That's a little too much wrap. We're gonna have to fix that. I don't want that much wrap. It's gonna start doubling up on itself. We have to fix our mistake.
Well, that's part of working on guitars, right? You know, like if you make a mistake, you
You gotta
should
be able to fix your mistakes.
you should fix it. You shouldn't just let it go like that, right? Like some people.
Not at all gonna let it go.
Some people just let it ride.
Oh, we got it here. Let's get it something like that. That's probably more like it.
What are you doing with your hand there? I see you're putting some tension on that string.
I'm keeping tension on the string.
Yeah. Why would you want to do that, Randy?
Because I need it to wrap tight and perfect.
Mm.
You can't be sloppy. And you also have to protect the string because you can't screw up the string when you're doing this. Like I can bend on this part, that's not playable, but you put a kink in the string there and it's kind of screwed, so that tensioning also is kind of just keeping anything too weird from happening to that.
And you said the bridge was already problematic in general.
There's issues with the bridge, there's issues with the saddle, there's the crack.
Right.
And then there's this issue with the nut maybe is a little too low, and then there's this other issue of what's going on with the buzzing on the first string at the 13th fret there seems high. It wants to sound that F note.
Do you think that you should maybe set up a shop that specifically works on drummers that play guitars?
Well, I
like
think
a specific shop.
I think this.
I know a
needs to
lot
go-
of them.
This needs to go to a shop, right?
Well, it could be Randy's shop,
It could go to my shop.
and you could
I
know
could-
all the problems
I
that
got the
you'd be like,
glue.
"Oh, that's a drummer thing." Are you a drummer?
I got the glue.
You might meet some cool drummers
I
too.
could make a nut. I got the files for making nuts.
You might meet some cool drummers in your shop. They're all bringing their guitars to you to get fixed. All their broke ass guitars.
Drummers and their broken guitars.
Yeah. Busted drummer guitar shop.
Busted drummer guitar shop.
You could buy it. You could
See,
buy
I'm
a
not really
business.
tensioning that string at this point. I'm just holding it really tight with one finger and getting a good tight wrap around that post. That's crucial. A good bit of that, you think you're stretching your string sometimes, is you got sloppy wraps.
What would you say to somebody whose guitar was about to explode?
John, your guitar is about to explode. I'm so sorry your guitar is about to explode.
It's okay.
We'll show you a cheater way if you want. Want to see a cheater way?
Yeah, I mean to zoom in though.
Let's zoom in. I'm gonna go around once, twice, 3 times lady. Now, I'm gonna hold it with my thumb and attempt to stick this through.
Okay, you saw it here first, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't want to do the stuff you saw in episode 1, let's say you're on the gig and you have a guitar that's about to explode, that's what you should do. You're not going to talk about why you're putting the strings on in different orders? That's not fair.
I'm just trying to keep them out of my way as I work on the next string.
Not fair.
Not fair.
You're not explaining.
Everything kind of has, you know, I don't think I can explain it. Just like if I explain it, I'm just talking and talking and talking about it. You just got to watch me do it and then monkey see, monkey do, right?
Not always, because you can't always. Sometimes you need somebody to explain it.
Sometimes you need someone to explain it.
What if you're somebody that's not a, there are different kind of people that learn. Some people need to learn when they hear, and some people learn when they see, Randy.
All right, so I got
Some
the
people don't learn at all, and they just... You're just mad because you have to work on a Gibson. Just express yourself. I feel like you're holding back.
I'm holding back on how I feel about
In this-
your Gibson guitar.
Just in general, I feel like you're holding back. You hate the concept.
When did you buy this guitar?
2018,
So it's 3 years old, not even? Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, it's just falling apart. In the case.
Well, you do play it a lot. You can
Oh,
see
yeah.
that you play it a lot.
Well,
It's got fret wear. Maybe it needs some more substantial fretwork too. I think you should refret it with like stainless steel jumbo frets. What do you think about that idea?
I don't know. What is fretwork? What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? What is fretwork? working on frets. Fretwork is working on frets.
What do you do? Just take like a grinder to it, or how do you work on fret? We don't know. It's an instructional video, Randy. We don't know. You have to tell us.
Well, it's,
You can't just quietly do the work.
it's files.
No one will
and
get it.
Sandpaper and metal polishing skills kind of make all that happen.
So you have to be some kind of like a machinist?
Hmm. Some kind of machinist.
Screw that.
You need some files, and you need some way to polish up afterwards. Lots of little sandpapers, polishing.
Uh-oh. It's almost time for the fancy tuner.
The fancy tuner time.
Fancy tuner time, baby.
Fancy tuner time, baby. It's fancy tuner time, baby.
This episode brought to you by
Fancy tuner time.
NASA. No, I'm just panning around the room. This episode brought to you by the good people of NASA. Look at this thing. All the people watching this are getting nervous. They think that the guitar, every time you tune it, is just going to snap into kindling.
Where's my fancy tuner? Oh, that's a capo. Looks like my fancy tuner. Usually my fancy tuner would be in my fancy pocket, don't you think?
Oh, it is a fancy pocket.
That's where it is. Pretty much lives there.
That's a good lesson.
Keep
Keep a
a new
tuner in your...
battery. At all times. Keep
Drummers
a tuner-
don't have that.
keep a-
Tuners
keep
in
a
their
tuner
pocket.
in your pocket at all times.
You can take that to the bank, buddy.
You have a drum key in your pocket at all times, don't you?
No.
No.
Nah.
Actually, you should keep one of these tuners in your pocket specifically. This is the best tuner I ever owned.
I feel like it would be insulting, Randy, to come here with a drum key. Because if you see the background behind you, is only 1,000 drums. I'm pretty sure
Drums here, yeah.
pretty sure there's a drum key hanging around in this place.
Yeah. I think if you need it, you can pretty much find it.
Pretty sure.
It's a very cool place.
Look at that. We got it going again, though, Randall. We're doing all right. That's
I'm hoping
all.
these strings are a little thicker. Maybe that'll help.
Why would that help?
Because maybe light gauge strings was what's causing the problems. Not enough tension. Although there seems to be enough tension because the top seems to be distorting now.
There it is.
So,
Yep.
no help. It does have new strings on it. Just no playing jazz.
All right, Randy. Thank you. Are we going to sign off?
I guess we should sign off. We're gonna have to talk about. We're gonna fix that. You're gonna take it to a guy, shim that. How are we gonna fix that? This guitar's got issues beyond like some basic guitar techery.
We're probably going to see this guitar again in other episodes.
I think so.
I'm imagining.
I think there's gonna have to be a results episode for this one. What do you think? All right. Anyways, let's end that there.